Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Titans Season 4, and this is going to be my review for Episode 4, otherwise entitled Super Mart, which when I was first getting into the episode, I was like, what kind of title is this? But once you're like halfway through, it makes sense, and it sort of throws back to an Episode 1 title because it's renamed, if that makes sense. But of course, spoiler it if you're not watching the episode, go away, what are you doing? But if you have watched the episode, let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on the episode, favorite moments, least favorite moments, any thoughts and theories moving forward. Always curious to read them, so yeah, let me know in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, you enjoyed the episode, just want to show your support, why not drop a like on the video to do all that? So really the big thing to mention, or the two things to mention heading into this episode, if that's proper English, is the whole Blood Moon stuff going on, which is obviously connected to what's going on with the Church of Blood. But more importantly, Sebastian was on the, like, right on the edge of being taken into the Church of Blood by muttering or repeating those three words, which we won't repeat because we don't want to get into some weird cult-like stuff, so we'll just keep it like that. But the Titans get to him just in time. Obviously, he'd, been charged with a murder and stuff like that, so technically he's like on the run. But yeah, so that's pretty much the main stuff heading into this episode. But overall, this episode it sort of like solidified my thoughts, because I said this when I was talking about episode 1 and 2, how, at least based off episode 1 and 2, this season felt very much like season 1 in regards to the sort of storyline they're going for, even the tone, even some of the visual stuff they were going for. It just felt very much like season 1, and that's because I think it's meant to be. It's tying back to so much season 1 stuff, but we didn't know that in episode 1 or 2. But now episode 3 and 4 have sort of, especially this episode 4, has sort of laid that all out. Like that's like literally what they're going for. But this really, like, the thing with this episode is that I really wish this was all flashbacks. I wish this was like some of those episodes we've had previously. Like, I think they did one in season 2 with Deathstroke. I think they did an entire flashback episode. And then and also in season 2 they did the Superboy one as well. I would have preferred if this was all in the past. It doesn't mean it's all in 1 year, but all the flashback events we get in this episode were just this episode. Now, the issue with that is that you're taking out every single main character on the show and you're just dealing with Mother Mayhem and stuff like that. But I think I might have preferred that, but maybe they wanted to tell it in a different narrative way and wanted to have some of the present day scenes. Maybe I'm in the vast minority that wanted a complete flashback episode, but they've done that before, so it's not like it's out of the norm for Titans to do that. And I just, for some reason, feel like that would have been a better episode than what we got, though it definitely wasn't a bad one at the same time. But in regards to the storyline and like the major moments, obviously we're doing Titans reviews a bit differently than I do my other reviews. We're dealing with flashbacks, as I said, which I would have preferred was the entire episode. But we start in 1996 into 1997, then it goes up into like the mid 2010s and then late 2010s, tying into season 1. But we start in 1996 with flashbacks where we see Mother Mayhem before she was actually Mother Mayhem in her May Bennett days, though she still has her magical abilities. It's not like she gets them throughout the episode. We meet her with them in the flashbacks, though she appears to not really have any sort of full control over them, and it's like driven off emotion, as we do see her superior feel the effects of that when I think he jumps out of a window after going off at her. I think he jumps out a window or pushes someone else out the window. I'm not too sure what exactly it was. It happens. We get it like her perspective of it. So it happens in another room. We just hear the sound effects. But of course, she ends up meeting a mysterious man who gets her to say the 3 magic words that she tried to get Sebastian to say last episode, and now she's entwined with all this weird, mystical, cult-like crap. And this leading to the years that do follow in her path to where she pretty much is now, and, some people she meets along the way. Now, as I was saying, we do have that season 1 connection in multiple areas, but they do bring it back to Trigon, where that's where she was connected, and she was a potential wife and bride of Trigon, and meant to be the mother of the prophet, or the female prophet that's a part of the prophecy, and she was within the asylum that was taken down. Now, as I said, like in episode 1, I was feeling season 1 and in episode 1 and 2, I was feeling season 1 connections. I didn't think it would actually be this connected, but at the same time, in the comics, there's Trigon stuff with the Church of Blood and all that, so I guess it makes sense that they would tie back to that season that had Trigon. Obviously, Trigon as a character wasn't that great in season 1. Maybe they can, if they even dabble in that again, maybe they can improve upon it. But nowadays, with that asylum, after it was taken down, it is, as the title of the episode does state, a super mart. But it's like not on the map. It's sus, like it's very suspicious, and there's just suspicious stuff going along with it. And we see that the asylum, or part of it, is still existing below this actual super mart. Now, one thing we learn is that Sebastian's neighbor is actually the woman that was at the asylum with Mother Mayhem over those years, and is currently with Mother Mayhem now in like the Church of Blood area thing that we keep seeing. And it appears that the Titans burning down the asylum all those years ago, I say all those years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I think in the timeline, that has now led to the craziness going on now. So it's like they tried to stop one issue and they just created a completely new one at the same time. Potentially an even like much bigger threat. Now we see that Mother Mayhem did give birth to what would be Raven's half sibling, but it was a boy. Now it wasn't a girl, so didn't fit the prophecy. Now you would guess that he would have been killed, and also due to denouncing the prophecy pretty much, Mother Mayhem, or May, is imprisoned. But we learn that Sebastian is that son. That's the name that she says, Sebastian. Or at the very least, that Mother Mayhem believes that the Sebastian we have now, that's hanging out with the Titans, is the boy she gave birth to. That's the Sebastian that she believes she gave birth to. He might not be. It's just that she believes that that's the case. They could easily go down the route where she's been targeting the wrong person the entire time, and that ends up with maybe her dying. Like Sebastian becomes Brother Blood, and he kills Mother Mayhem because there's no connection there at all, and also because of what she's been doing to his life as well. So that this could be a bad road that she's going down because she's mistaken the wrong person as this son that was taken away from her. So that's an interesting thing to keep your eye out on as we move further into this season. Just because she believes that Sebastian is her son, like the Sebastian we have, it definitely doesn't mean he is. That's not confirmation at all. Now, one thing they chucked in like an action scene where we had the Titans versing like this just group of like super mart zombies, I guess. Like they were zombies. They didn't really look exactly like zombies. They're just, I guess, brain dead, like taken over. But this includes a zombie Deathstroke, which I was like, what? When he showed up, I was like, okay, like I guess we'll take zombie Deathstroke. And obviously, well, not obviously, I was sort of surprised what happened, but he has a healing factor even as a zombie as well. So he gets his head chopped off. Like other zombies are, they just stop, but he's able to pick it up and put it back on and stuff like that. Extremely random having zombie Deathstroke show up, but I guess if you have the rights to use him, why not have fun with it? Now, he does actually manage to stab Superboy, which after we see the after effects that he's having with it, and he's just feeling very weird, and we see him cough up blood, which contains a snake like the other Church of Blood targets, and he's still not safe, like good after that. So I'm very interested to see what happens with him, and like I was going to talk about the character stuff later, but we'll talk about it right now. One of the conversations that's gone on is like how Superman has weaknesses and how Superboy would technically have those weaknesses as well, and one of those is magic. Now he got stabbed with like what would be like a magical blade, so that's a weakness there, and now he's acting all cocky like I can handle it. He just walks up feeling he's thinking that he's invulnerable and stuff, and he yeah, he has to deal with taking an L there, I guess. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen there with Superboy, whether he becomes like some sort of like evil Superboy or something like that. But yeah, I think he might be more careful and definitely take that advice that Superman is potentially weak to magic. So he would as well. So I think he'll think twice about just jumping into battle despite his very advanced abilities. But in regards to the characters, I mentioned the Superboy stuff there and all the questioning of the power set and morals that was going on with Jinx. But Mother Mayhem's the big one for this episode. That's where pretty much all the focus is. And it was very interesting to see like where she started and where she is now and the transformation period there and how she built upon that and got more control of her powers and just realized how powerful she is. I just do wonder whether that time where she was imprisoned and stuck alone with her thoughts and the whole Sebastian thing does come back to bite her in the ass, just because I just don't know if Sebastian is actually her son. I think that's just meant to be a misdirect. I believe that she would have named her son Sebastian, but I just don't know if this Sebastian we're dealing with is legitimately her son. I just have a feeling they're going against that, but this could be, because it's very important to remember, that was Trigon's son. That's a son of Trigon that she gave birth to. Raven is the daughter of Trigon. So I wonder if we're going to have this thing where we're having one child of Trigon is the villain and the other child of Trigon is going to have to be the one that stops them, which is Raven and her storyline there, which has already started with the gem being taken away, the white hair, everything like that. That'll be pretty interesting. That'll be pretty interesting if that what they're going with, and whether the execution holds up to that is another question. But that sounds like a pretty cool storyline, especially when you're dealing with this magic stuff. It makes sense that you deal or use the magical character that you have within the Titans to be the main sort of enforcer there. So yeah, I think they've set it up pretty well. But once again, Sebastian's still not brother blood. We're still got to get to that point. And whether he does it on his own accord, does he just remember the words and just say them like he was going to in this episode? Or does Mother Mayhem get to him again? We don't know. That's a wait and find out. But speaking of Sebastian, he does have some things in common, obviously, with Raven, with what's happening with the Church of Blood and the feelings they're having, the nightmares they're having, which once again, I think connects to the whole Children of Trigon thing potentially, which makes you maybe side with the fact that Sebastian is Mother Mayhem's son, or maybe he's the son of another failed prophet. Maybe there was another woman that gave birth, and he's the son of that woman. Maybe that's what's going on there. It could go different ways. It could go a couple of different ways. That's a wait and find out, obviously. But yeah, he's just dealing with like those after effects of like last episode and his encounter with Mother Mayhem and that inner struggle. And I just don't know if the Titans are going to be able to hold on to that too much. But I guess it's lucky that Raven's there. But obviously we do see them at the end, at Star Labs there. So I guess they're going to dive into what's going on there. But I think with the whole Superboy thing and him being affected, like that might allow them to like tap into Sebastian and bring him into the Church of Blood even quicker. So Raven might not be able to do anything just because of what's happened with Superboy. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it all plays out. But yeah, overall, this episode, I don't know if it was better than last week. I said episode 3 was one of my favorite episodes. I think I'll probably stick with that. But this episode did a decent amount of building upon the structure of like the main storyline and the magical aspect as well. I am wondering whether Trigon... I don't know if anyone else is wondering whether Trigon was just going to walk in, I guess in his human form, most likely, in the flashbacks. I was expecting that. Maybe they just couldn't get the actor. I'm not too sure. And I don't think they'd use the big CGI thing because it didn't look good the first time. I don't think they'd bother doing it just for like a 30-second scene or something like that. But I don't think Trigon's going to play a part unless there's more flashbacks than he does. But I guess that's a wait and find out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this episode. What did you love? What did you hate? Favorite moments? All that stuff. Any theories and predictions moving forward. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.